Welcome back to BritBoy Hockey. For my 100th video, over a year ago now actually, I interviewed the great Darcy Rota. That got me thinking, what should I do for my 200th episode, aka this episode? Well, the answer's easy. Let's speak to Darcy again. So please welcome a Canucks legend, number 18, Darcy Rota. How are you doing, Darcy?
Hey, BritBoy, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on for this wonderful 200th episode. It's my pleasure, man.
It's been 442 days since we recorded that 100th episode. If you want to go watch that 100th episode, I will leave the link or something down below. We go into kind of Darcy's NHL life a bit more. But talking about your NHL life, this year and kind of right now in the news, it's the 40th anniversary of the 1982 Stanley Cup run, aka the Vancouver Canucks' first run to the Stanley Cup final. What can you tell me about that run, Darcy?
Well, BritBoy, it's by far the highlight of my hockey life. It was the first time the Canucks had ever reached the Stanley Cup final. We got hot at the end of the season. We went the last nine games undefeated. We did not play overtime back then, so we went 6 wins and 3 ties. We still finished under 500, but we finished the season off on a real high note. So we went in the playoffs feeling really good about ourselves, and we played Calgary in the first round and beat them, and LA, then Chicago, my old team, and then of course lost the Islanders. But the philosophy we had as a group there was all for one and one for all. We had just a wonderful group of guys that cared for each other. We had talent, we had toughness, we had wonderful goaltending in Richard Brodeur. It's by far the highlight. So I thank you for bringing that up, and hard to believe, 40 years, man, oh man.
Yeah, and you mentioned Richard Brodeur there just briefly. Is he Martin Brodeur's brother?
There's no relationship that I know of. I don't think there's any type of connection there at all. But I will say this about Richard. He played so well, and there's no question if we would have won the Stanley Cup, he would have won the Conn Smythe as the MVP. Mike Bossy won it. I'm sure Richard was probably second or third in the voting, but he was marvelous for us. But we had a lot of guys that played great through that whole playoff, and a lot of character guys, competed hard. We had a lot of talent, we had a lot of toughness, we had great defense. It's a pleasure to think about that team 40 years ago and the celebrations that'll be taking place this year throughout this season.
We touched on that back then there wasn't overtime. I just wanted to ask you do you think the NHL today with overtime is better than the NHL back then without overtime?
Yeah, I think it is. Looking now what it is today, and going to 3-on-3 for the regular season for overtime. Yeah, I think it'd been kind of nice to have that in our era. But of course, once 60 minutes was done, it was over. But I kind of like the today when they play the 3-on-3. It's very exciting and fun to watch. And then of course, it's still tied. They go into the shootout, which again is really entertainment for the fans. So I like it. How about you, man?
Yeah, I think it's very good, and I actually believe that my first game, the New York Islanders game, I believe, did that go to overtime?
I think it did go. I think you're right. Exactly.
Because that was when Brendan Leipzig scored the goal.
I think you're right. That's exactly right. Very good.
And I just want to touch on your stats from that 1982 season.
Right.
So in the regular season, you played 51 games. You scored 20 goals, and you assisted on. You had 20 assists, right, for a total of 40 points in the regular season. Then in the playoffs, you played 17 games. You had 6 goals, 3 assists, and 9 points.
Yeah, that's very good research there, BritBoy. Yeah, and the reason I only played the 50 games was that I had a a very serious ankle injury. I went to the boards and I missed like 30 games or so. And I came back late in the season and like the rest of the team got hot at the right time and things went well in our direction. But that was the reason I missed so many games. I think it's the most games I ever missed in my career that season.
Oh. So, was that the season where Roger Nielsen waved the white flag?
Very good, yeah, absolutely. And that took place in Game 2 in Chicago. As I said, we beat we beat Calgary in the first round, beat LA in the second round, and then we played Chicago in the third round. In Game 1, we won in an overtime goal by Jim Nill, who's now currently the general manager of the Dallas Stars. In Game 2, we're playing, and Roger Nielsen was not happy with the referee and felt that the referee was not making many calls in our favor and more penalties against us. And about halfway through the third period, I was just coming off the ice, and I see these sticks with a couple sticks with a white towel. I said, "What is going on?" And then I realized that Roger was such a bright, astute coach. He says, "Okay, we lost this game. We're gonna surrender." And I tell you what, it was the momentum change to that whole series. All we talked about after the game downstairs in Chicago Stadium was the white towel. Little did we know that what was going to take place when we get back to Vancouver.
I don't know how much you can really say about this, but is there any special celebrations throughout this season for that 40th anniversary of the Stanley Cup run?
I'm sorry, for taking place now this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had a luncheon downtown at the Vancouver Fairmont Hotel, about 400 people, and the key was recognizing the 82 Stanley Cup luncheon. And I understand there's going to be an event with the Canucks, and I understand the Anniversary Canucks are thinking of doing something too, I've been advised. So there'll be a few different things take place. It was a special group of guys, a special team that to this day, people still come to me and say that was such a fond memory for them, that 82 run. And, the white towel power, there was no white towels waved at games before that took place. And it's so fantastic that took place. And it's such a big part of sports today, and Canucks for sure.
Who was your line mates in that 1982 season?
I played with different guys. I played with Ivan Boldarev a lot, who's a center icer, very skilled guy that I got traded twice with, from Chicago to Atlanta to Vancouver, and Lars Moline on the right side, and the odd time Jimmy Nill. And then sometimes I'd play with Thomas Grudin and Stan Smeal, sometimes with Alvin Alenka. So different guys I played. I was, an offensive type player that played in offensive situations, and we were a really good team that was underrated.
And a bit of an interesting topic here. What do you, in your opinion, I don't know how much you can put on this, but what do you think the current Canucks could do to just improve their season?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for sure. We all expect the team to do better, and I think every player is going to look themselves in the mirror and say, what can I do to make this team better? What can I do for myself to be better? And your best players have got to pick up the slack, and that's their job, is they're paid the most money, and they should be paid, should be playing better, and hopefully they get this thing turned around, because we all expected better results this year. It just hasn't resulted.
If you were drafted back into the NHL today, what team would you want to be drafted by, excluding the Canucks, and why that team?
Okay, I'll exclude the Blackhawks too, because that's who drafted me initially. Well, let me put it this way. I was a very offensive type player, better offensive than defense. So I probably would look at a team that played that style. And, I'm thinking Colorado would be a good option, Edmonton. So those would probably be two teams that would fit into my kind of style of play. Offensive-minded teams that relied on a lot of offense and great skating.
Would you rather play in the NHL that you played in, or the current day NHL, and why?
Well, my time when I played NHL was very physical, tough hockey. I was more of an offensive skater and skating, so I probably more suited the game in today's game.
So when we last did an interview for the 100th episode, we talked about the Stanley Cup final that was happening at the time, which was the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
And you actually predicted that the Tampa Bay Lightning would win, which indeed did happen in the end.
Right.
So this year, who do you think will be in the Final Four? And who do you think will ultimately go on to win the Stanley Cup?
Boy, that's a tough one right now there, BritBoy. I mean, only played a quarter of the season. But looking, at the standings, and I think from the far side, the Metropolitan Atlantic side, I like Florida and Toronto and Tampa Bay, those divisions, and I really like Colorado, and I really like Edmonton. So I will say, I'll say a Colorado Florida final.
Okay. My editor thinks that the Oilers will.
You think the Oilers going to win it?
Yeah, that's what my editor says. I'm thinking that I think the Florida Panthers are looking really, really good this season. So I think it'll probably be them. But yeah, there's so many good teams this season at the point that we are at in this season, so could go anyone's way.
I think Florida, I agree with you. I think, and I look at the east side, I think Florida, Toronto, Tampa Bay are the teams. I know Washington Rangers having good seasons, and Carolina. But I think Florida, again, those Florida teams. So I think that the Florida Panthers are going to be tough to beat over Tampa Bay. And the head coach is John Cooper, who's a Prince George boy like me. So we'll see what happens. But I like Edmonton too. You got two of the best players in the world, McDavid and Draisaitl. I think they're going to be tough. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I'm saying Florida. I just think they're a really good team, and they're somehow finding a way to be a very good, powerful, successful team this season. So yeah.
So getting back to the Canucks,
yeah,
it's been from my standpoint and everybody, it's been a disappointing start, and then from everybody, the organization would say the same thing, and the best players have not been playing their potential. We got to get, Pettersson's got to get going. I don't think he scored a goal 5-on-5 yet, and he's such a key guy for them. What do you think's got to happen? I mean, to me, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I got to be better. Don't point fingers. Me, if it was me, Darcy, you got to be better out there.
Yeah, I mean, to have a good team like Florida and Edmonton and those teams, the whole team's got to contribute towards the success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping they get things turned around pretty quick, because history says if you're not in the hunt comes Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, the chances are not too good making the playoffs.
No, so hopefully they can turn around and get some dream ending or something.
Right.
Now next on to a good deed that you did recently, and that was you visited a hospital, local hospital, right, to meet a boy called Matty Sherdahl. Who actually, I believe, does go to my school. Is there anything you can say?
Yeah, you're right. He is a boy that goes to Monty Middle. Unfortunately, he's battling brain cancer. And how I got connected with this is that a fellow by the name of Paul Schmier, who played one game for the Canucks in the Western Hockey League, and I played against him in the National Hockey League. Matty's his great nephew, and Paul, unfortunately, has passed away. And his wife called me about 3 weeks ago and told me about Matty and the situation. So I got our Canuck alumni and Canucks involved, and the Canucks have been super along with our alumni. And I went today, which is Sunday afternoon, December the 5th, to Children's Hospital with the great aunt, Paul's widow, Diana Schmier, my wife Kathy, and we did not get a chance to see Matty, but at the Children's Hospital lobby, the mom and dad were expecting us to come, and the daughter Kelsey. So we had a good visit, took some pictures, and I took the Canuck autographed jersey the Canucks sent me, and it was pretty exciting. And they were very emotional about it. And they're, Matty's a longtime Canuck fan, and he's in a tough fight right now, but things are progressing positively. So hopefully he'll battle out of this. But it was special for me. If I can do a little thing like that, bring a little happiness to a family under difficult times, that's what I'm all about as a person.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. And I also believe it was his 13th birthday, or it's coming up or something.
Yeah, December the 8th is his 13th birthday. So I brought a birthday card from the Canuck and Canuck alumni. I brought this. I brought some tidbits for the 5-year-old daughters. I wanted her to have something too. And anyway, he turns 13 on December the 8th, and hopefully he'll start progressing. And he's just in a real battle. And life is special, and the parents are wonderful people. And just let's hope that things progress. That Matty can come back and be in school with you at Monty Middle in Coquitlam, where my kids also went many years ago.
No, I'll be sure to definitely mention his name tomorrow around school.
Sure. Great, thank you.
And also to those who want to, there is, I do believe, a GoFundMe for Matty. I will link that in the comments. If you could, it'd be very nice to donate. And yeah.
Well, it's very kind of you to do that there, BritBoy. And I will send you a photo of my visit at the hospital today, at Children's Hospital, that you can post with this interview.
Okay. I noticed that behind you, I believe there's 3 different photos.
Yes.
Could you please tell us what those are?
Yeah, the jersey, I was very fortunate to play in one All-Star game in 1984. The game was in New Jersey. I was the Canuck representative playing that game. And the top picture up there is me scoring a goal. I scored a goal in the game. And the middle is the team picture with people like Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and Paul Coffey and Glenn Anderson and Rick Vaive, Dennis Savard. Lots of great players that were on that team that I was very fortunate to be part of. And the one below is a Canuck 82 memorabilia photo that's framed. So all very important, very special to me in my life.
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
Well, I can show you one thing, right? I'm sitting on a special chair of mine too. Is that, and I've talked about this before, but the Chicago Blackhawks is where I was drafted and spent 6 years as a Blackhawk. And in 1994, they tore down Chicago Stadium, and now they play in the United Center. And well, 3 months after it got torn down, my doorbell rings, and it's the delivery from Federal Express from the Chicago Blackhawks. And what it was a chair from the Chicago Blackhawks with my name and number on.
Oh,
so that's sitting on to do this interview. I thought, you know what way can I kind of do a special thing with the BritBoy and show my love for the Blackhawks. And with regards to the Canucks, I don't do this very often. In my era, when you played for the Canucks, the Griffiths family were fantastic as owners. If you played 5 years for the Canucks, they presented you a Canuck ring. And if you can see my Canuck ring, it's got the Canuck logo. You see it okay?
It's
this way, maybe. I think you see the light. Anyways, it's right. It's a Canuck ring with the logo, my name, my number on it, and the year I came to the Canucks. Very special. I only wear it for very special occasions, BritBoy, and this is one. So that's why I wanted to wear it with you.
Okay, and also just actually from my side, I have, I don't know if you can see that, but that is...
Oh, yeah!
Me with, oh God, I'm trying to...
Is that Matthew Barzal?
Yeah.
Holy macro, you were small then.
Yeah, I was. That was 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So how old are you now, BritBoy?
12.
So when are you 13?
March.
Okay, so you're the same age as Matty and He'll be 13 next week.
Yeah, just quickly before we end, I've got 2 very special pucks here. This one is actually the one that you gave me against the New York Islanders when I was in the alumni suite.
Okay, nice.
And then this one is one of the official warm-up pucks from the Islanders game, which was the last game before COVID hit and we went into the bubble season.
Right. Oh, nice. Oh, those are 2 great collector items. Good for you.
Yeah.
You got some nice jerseys in behind?
Yeah. And I've got this one.
Yeah. Is that the one you like wearing most of all?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the best. Last time we were on here, you showed us some of the jerseys through the Canucks.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to ask you which jersey design of the Canucks is your favorite?
Well, can I go get them and bring them upstairs?
Yes, sure.
Wait 1 minute?
Yep.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
No, perfectly fine.
So anyway, my glasses on here. Oh, there you are, BritBoy. So anyway, whenever I go out and make appearances, I do a lot of different charity events, golf tournaments, I do different things. I take these 2 jerseys because these are my favorite, because these are the ones I wore when I played. Okay? My name on the back, my number. The black one and the gold one.
Yeah.
My question to you is, these are my favorite jerseys, but which one do you like better? The gold or the black?
I say the black.
You know, most people say that. That's interesting. And this is the jersey I wore for the 50th anniversary of the team. Oh, so here, do you see the 50 on there?
Yep.
Oh, lots of appearances there. Yeah, that's the jersey.
Nice.
But I kind of like this gold one because it kind of stands out a bit.
Yeah.
And we always called it, let's go gold. We never said, let's go yellow, because yellow, that's not a good word in sports. So those are my 2 jerseys. Yeah, the Flying V is what I like best of all.
Okay, so I think that's it for the interview. And yes, so thank you very, very much. As always, you've been a legend again. For my viewers, please see the Matty's GoFundMe. The link is down below. And so it's been a pleasure. And I think we are done. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from you.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks, BritBoy. It's been a pleasure, bud.
Bye.
Bye.